All right, everybody, guess what? I'm back. Happy Friday. This is Ed Diaz, and I got a special guest today. We're going to be talking about real estate in the 580 corridor. So, for those of you who are in other parts of the country, Florida, you know what? Get your map game on, and you'll know what 580 is. So, today, help me welcome Yvette Fragoza. How about that for a name, huh? Doesn't it make you instantly hungry? It sounds like food to me. How you doing, Yvette?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You got your camera off. Make sure that everybody can see
Yeah,
you. There you go.
somebody.
Perfect. Gosh, what an insanity of a market, huh? All of a sudden we went from like rates in the twos and threes. All of a sudden now we're in the fives. I know it's
I
wreaking havoc on
know.
all markets. So everybody in the country, I know it's affecting all of us. We are
Yeah.
not immune to it. Now, our property values are still going up out here. I know we're starting to see a little bit of a crack in that and some slowing down, especially in other parts of the country. But in California, man, this is still raging like a fire, honestly.
It
It
is.
hasn't stopped. So tell
It
me
is.
a little bit now. Let's talk about the 580 corridor because that 580 corridor, by the way, for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the East Bay. There's a highway called 580 that covers from Oakland, California. It goes to San Leandro, it goes to Hayward, San Lorenzo, and then what it does it veers towards the left in L's into towns like Pleasanton that are higher priced, and then goes into Livermore, which is a piece of that area's wine country. So tell me what's going on in those areas, and are there any pockets of opportunities right now to buy?
So right now, what's going on is because of the interest rates, people have kind of slowed down, stagnated a little bit on putting in offers. However, it's still very hot. It's still going. People are still getting over asking,
Okay.
and it's still, like I said, but right now is a great opportunity to be able to get into those properties because
Hmm.
there's a little bit less demand
Right. The
from,
herd is thinning out, as they say. Okay.
yeah,
Now, do
still
you
very
typically
much.
see investors come out also to play? Because investors love it when it slows down.
Yes, so that's another thing that's going on too. You have a lot of all cash buyers that are coming in
Mm,
and picking up those properties as well. But like I
that's
said,
interesting.
some of
Okay.
these buyers are have slowed down just because they're like, oh, but the interest rate's a little too high or whatever. But honestly, historically, it's still low.
Yeah, I mean, look, historically, if you look at what the last 30, 40 years, the rate is averaged between 6 and 7%. So, I mean, we're going back to normality, but people like they get used to free money, right? Don't we
Correct.
all? I mean, who
One hundred
doesn't want free lunch,
percent.
right?
Yeah.
That's always the case. And okay, now are there particular cities that you like more than others as far as opportunities for maybe first-time home buyers? Anything that you'd like to
I think
show them?
so. Right now, I would say probably Pleasanton, Livermore. Pleasanton is obviously a little bit better of a neighborhood, better, nicer community.
Yeah.
Livermore's still a very nice community as well. Um, but I would say looking for purchase prices, like if you were looking for a lower end, I would say Livermore. If you're looking
Livermore.
for a little bit more higher end, Pleasanton.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. How about on the 580 corridor? Would you recommend a place like I've seen Hayward come up? I mean, obviously we've seen Livermore come up.
All of them have gone.
Livermore was nowhere, and now all of a sudden, they got the winery and they got events, and it's
Yeah.
boomed. So, what do you think about Hayward compared to, like, for example, Oakland and San Lorenzo? Would you pick Hayward out of all that, or what would you pick if you were a first-time home buyer?
Between Hayward or San Lorenzo, I
Yeah,
would
or,
probably
or
say San
even
Lorenzo.
Oakland.
They have, okay, so if I was to do Oakland, it would be more Oakland Hills up
Okay,
near the 580,
okay,
away from the 80, more up on the
okay.
hill, east,
513.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, you're looking at probably Oakland Zoo all the
Yep.
way to going towards Berkeley, the
Yep.
13, in between there,
Yeah.
that would be the best.
Over the Caldecott and all that.
Yeah.
Over
It
24.
doesn't have to be Piedmont. It could be the Diamond District. It could be Eastmont Hills. Those areas are pretty nice.
Yeah, no, for sure. And what do you think? And I keep talking about Hayward only because I've been so impressed how
Oh
Hayward has
yeah,
come up.
that's
Plus,
a
you got Bart
great
right there.
school. they've so renovated, like retro, what's the right word? Reconstructed downtown Hayward. It's
It's
so nice.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
it's so different compared to over 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah, it ain't your grandfather's Hayward, that's for sure.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Not
I've
at,
seen it come up. I'm really, really impressed. I think personally, just what I've seen is that on a price per square
Hayward.
footage, Hayward's awesome.
Oh, it is. It is. I would still say closer to the hills is always better.
Well, by the
Uh,
golf course, I mean, some of those houses are like in the millions. It's amazing. Like,
yes, yes. So, like near the university as well. The university has done so much retrofitting, and you know, the environment's just so nice. It's like a
yeah,
whole nother world of its own up
it
there.
really is. And I've seen condos come up. But you're right. The thing that you mentioned is the university. Don't forget, folks, that they have a university there. I
Yeah.
mean, so if you have kids and you
Okay.
want to build community and have your kids go to university, I mean, Hayward's a place where you could be long term.
Yes, and they have a lot of good programs.
Yeah,
They
agreed.
have even for, I mean, I don't know how many people want to be teaching, because originally that's what I went to school for, was to teach. So I could teach
Oh, okay.
history. My
Well,
degree is
it's
in
perfect for
California,
real estate because we're teaching people all day.
and my degree is California History American West.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
Oh, yeah. So the thing is like they have so many great programs at the university as well.
Yeah,
And,
no, I agree. It's a good
and
school.
it is
Yeah,
100% is
it
good school,
definitely is a good school.
but
So,
definitely
okay,
close.
so here's the $1 million question. What's your forecast? What do you think's going to happen the rest of the year and then going into next year?
Honestly, I don't think it's going to like do an uptick. I think it's going to get kind of stagnant. That's my opinion. I think we
You
still
think it's
have,
going to level off?
I think it's going to level off. I think we have still high demand of buyers. Um, I still think that we don't have a lot of supply. That's not coming anytime soon. There's too much stuff that's in the back burners.
Yeah.
And I think people are going to, I think it's going to still be hot. There's too much cash in people's pockets.
Yeah, there's a lot of money out here. I'm amazed, to see how much money that you just don't see in other places. Now, the one thing I will say is that I do believe we're going to go into a mild recession by the end of the year, maybe Q1. I mean, we're starting to see, especially when we're tapping out on employment and we're seeing things like the reversal of the yield curves. But what ends up happening, and I've said this in other videos, is that rates go down in recessions. And so I
Mm-hmm.
think that that's going to bring back an uptick in demand.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't see builders building anymore, really, like in meaningful quantities anywhere in the
Uh,
Bay Area.
Maybe not in the Bay Area. I think outskirts, Valley. There are at least two builders right now in Hollister that
Oh, okay.
actually I was really impressed with,
Huh.
because I have a client that is looking out in that direction. The Melrose was very low considering what's going on out in the valley.
Yeah, and Melrose is a tax assessment for schools?
Melrose is an additional property tax. It's
For the
not for school.
schools?
No, it's
It's
not
not.
for
Okay.
schools. No.
What's it for?
So it basically goes towards like lighting, and if there's parks, stuff to keep the
Oh,
community
infrastructure. Okay.
clean.
Community
Yeah.
infrastructure. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Somebody's got to pay for that stuff, right? Makes
Yeah.
sense. So, if you're a first time home buyer watching this video right now, what would you tell them is the best plan of action starting now if they still want to buy a home? Should they just quit and just wait for that proverbial bubble to bust that I don't think is ever coming, but
No.
or should just, I'm a big believer if you can, then do.
Right.
But what's your advice to somebody who's first time homebuyer watching this going, I'm kind of scared. I don't know. Should I keep going or should I just stop
I
looking for a
would
home?
say one, I would do it now before interest rates do go a little bit higher. I don't see prices
They will.
going down. I
Hmm.
don't see prices going down. If anything, sellers are going to sit on their property till they get the price that they want. And if you are comfortable in that payment, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that leads me to this. Step one, you got to get approved. And by the
Correct.
way, don't get pre qualified, get approved, meaning that it's been fully underwritten. The underwriter, who's the final decision maker, has reviewed it and issued a loan commitment and approval. That's what you need. There's a huge difference between just a pre-qualification where loan officer just looks at it and goes, yeah, I think you can do this, to an underwriter going, yes, absolutely. We vetted all your assets, your credit, your income, your debts. And yes, we have a loan for you. That's the way you want to do it in order to be able to compete, because 30% of deals out there are cash. And so
Yes.
you're
They are.
competing with those folks, and you're competing with people who make a ton of money. So this is why I'm saying getting prepared is so critical.
The other thing I suggest is don't don't be scared off at the fact that your agent might tell you, hey, we'll look at comps, and then go by the comps and go 10, 20, or whatever you're comfortable over that comparable price. Because if you don't, you're going to get outbid with somebody with more.
That's
And you need to
absolutely
be patient.
correct. Yeah, that's another one of my P's. But you know what? That's really sound advice. By the way, folks, I have a report, and please hit me up for this. Just send me a DM. I have a report. If you want to see what it's going to cost you to wait, I have a cost of waiting report that's really, really powerful. But I also have a report that will show you how long it'll take you to recover the amount of money that you're going to offer over the asking to get that house to be competitive. So, for example, in San Francisco, I had a client, $1.5 million listing. He offered $100,000 more. He's making up that 100,000 in 8 months
Yeah.
because of the equity appreciation. So don't forget to go this way, meaning look at the big picture. Don't get so caught in the minutia.
Yeah.
Don't let fear kill your future, because housing, we all got to live somewhere. And you know what? For every time you wait, that could have been equity in your pocket, as opposed to buying it later at 100 grand more expensive, because
Correct.
time waits for nobody, right? Well, Yvette, thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. How do people get a hold of you, by the way?
They can either reach out to me by email or my phone number.
Okay.
Would you like me to give
Yes,
that?
please. Yes, give it out. This is
My
it. Let
my
the people know.
number is my phone number is 209-922-3677. And you can reach me on my email, which is yfragoza@gmail.com.
Awesome.
Or you can also get me at Yvette at the ownteam.com. Sorry. I don't utilize that one, but I use my
No
personal one.
worries. They got your phone number and email address now too. Any events that you're participating in coming up?
Yes. So I will be at an event in Livermore.
Okay, cool.
It'll be a street fest on May the 14th and 15th, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, May 14th and 15th in downtown Livermore.
Downtown Livermore. All right. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of vino happening in that little
Oh
event.
yes, there's wine, there's craft
Nice.
beers, it's going to be a good event. Street
All right,
fair.
folks. Well, you heard it here first. Go check her out. Go shake her hand in Livermore. Livermore has been up and coming, especially in the wine scene, big time. I'm sure that little fair is going to be awesome. So don't give up on the dream of home ownership. Do not let interest rates get in the way. Again, if you can, then do. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Don't forget. And also hit the bell, because otherwise you're not going to get notified of the next video I'm going to drop. Thanks again. Have a great weekend, and I will see you all on the next video.